On November 11th, I attended the Spanish ward in our stake, their sacrament meeting. I am over music and nursery for stake primary, and so we attended their primary program. And going into it, I don't know that I had like I knew I have heard them sing before just in passing through the hallways. So I knew like music would most likely be good and just sound really well. Um, I was curious to see how much Spanish I would be able to recognize and if I could go without the earphone interpreters to hear it in English. So I actually sat there and listened to everything in Spanish. And I picked up a few things. One thing that was very interesting was that it's easier knowing the languages that we have with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints, that it's very similar um, as far as procedures go. And so even though I may not know everything that they're saying, I can pick up on kind of what some things mean, like in the way we say our prayers, in the sacrament prayers that were being done, the music being sung. It was a really cool experience. I'm glad I did it. One thing that really stood out to me, um, that kind of it kind of reinforced my belief that the Hispanic culture is very family oriented, and that was very apparent. The other thing that was very apparent was how much music plays a role in their culture, and the the quality of music being sung, or of the singers too. That was that was amazing. Although, you still have kids that are kind of messing around in the front row or anything, with primary, the quality of their voices was beautiful. And the emotion and intensity that was felt there was a lot more than the other wards that I attended. Although the other wards I did feel the spirit as well. But that was really interesting to me, to notice that it had a little bit more depth there, and maybe that came from a gathering of people from all different parts of the world, because you could tell there were some Latinos there that are from Mexico, and then some from South America and Central America. It was just a mesh of a bunch of different things, and then as well as others that had served missions in Spanish-speaking missions, and that were there with their families, and it was a very much a feeling of family, even coming from kind of the outside and what would be atypical as in a Latino culture. Like, I definitely do not look like I would be a part of that culture. One thing that was really cool, and I really liked, is, and that I would share with students that I teach, is that I actually made an effort when we were writing thank you notes to the primary. I wrote mine in Spanish, using what Spanish I know and using an online interpreter. And although, I was worried that I'd say the wrong thing or whatever, but I think I figured it out, and I think I said it pretty well. But the basic thing is I didn't anticipate the response that I would get just from making that effort. And a couple older ladies in the back of the primary room turned to me and were said, thank you for writing that in Spanish. And it, I didn't think a whole lot about it, but that effort was huge for them. And so I think that whatever effort we can do to make people feel more at home and to kind of acknowledge and accept the language that they speak is huge, and that it is worth it to make that kind of effort, because the relationship that you gain by both sides kind of working hard at things is phenomenal. So that was my experience at attending the Spanish ward from our stake.